Hey, this is Jamie from Capsule Computers, and today we are reviewing Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown. This title from Bandai Namco is available now for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. At the time of the recording of this video, game costs $59.99 US on all platforms. In Australian dollars, the game costs $79.95 on PC and $99.95 on consoles. Ace Combat fans rejoice. Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown is reaching a bunch of firsts for the franchise. It is the first to be developed from the ground up for the latest generation of consoles, the first to launch on PC, and the first to offer support for VR devices, albeit as a timed exclusive for the PlayStation VR. Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown's story is a mess. It feels like two completely different writers were used. While the world feels relevant to today's political and technological environment, there are a few gaping plot holes and chunks of unexplained stories that come out of nowhere. The cutscene content feels disjointed from what the player is experiencing, serving more as world building than actual context for the player's actions. The writing in the cutscenes are generally very good, especially compared to the rest of the game. The writing for the missions is bad. The chatter between pilots is absolutely grating. Instead of getting a lovable band of rogues, the prisoners and their captors are one-dimensional stereotypes with the depth of a puddle. The briefings and debriefings in the second half of the game are generally decent, but the early debriefings are a mess, often feeling like an incoherent set of lines tossed into a cup, shaken thoroughly, and emptied into a word processor. The resulting train wreck makes me suspect the whole prisoner plotline was just tacked in last minute. Unfortunately, we weren't able to test the multiplayer or the VR aspects of the game as it was not available on PC during our review period. We did, however, have plenty of time to dig into the single-player portions of the game. Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown continues to offer an excellent arcade flight sim experience. The controls feel extremely tight. Newbies to the franchise can use the simplified controls to ease their way into the game, then switch into the traditional expert-level controls. While playing the game with mouse and keyboard is possible, Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown is way more enjoyable with a controller or a full flight stick setup. The controls give players a lot of option for dogfights, including the newly introduced post-stall maneuvers. I only wish the game offered a better tutorial that introduces players to the more advanced maneuvers and tactics. Many of these are hinted to in the tooltips during load screens, but new players will have to take to the internet to learn on their own, as the in-game tutorial is limited to the extremely basic "this is how you fly and this is how you shoot" type instructions. The aircraft tree offers new aircraft and upgrades for use in both campaign and multiplayer modes. Each aircraft can hold up to 8 upgrade parts. Parts can upgrade either the body, armaments, or miscellaneous equipment. Each upgrade part is worth a certain number of points, and each plane has a cap for each of the 3 types of upgrades. Each aircraft has 3 special weapons to choose from based on the plane's role. There is a good mix of European, Russian, and American crafts from the back half of the Cold War, with a few older planes tossed in for good measure. Players will use the MRP currency to unlock planes and parts in the tree. MRP is earned from playing campaign missions or multiplayer matches. There is no way to unlock the entire aircraft tree from one run of the campaign, so players will have to either repeat single-player missions or play online matches to grind out the MRP. The mission design is generally very good, with a few frustrating missions thrown in. The levels are an excellent mix of open skies and tight areas that will require players to practically maneuver around in a phone booth. There's also a good balance between dogfighting missions and bombing runs that will give plenty of opportunity for players to use more specialized aircraft. There are some frustrating missions that will make players want to yank out their hair at times. These missions require players to attack ground-based targets in a certain order to successfully complete the mission within the time limit. I found those missions to be really frustrating until I could figure out the right strategy to tackle the mission. The dogfighting missions is where Ace Combat 7 is at its best though. The action is intense, especially against rival aces where it feels like any air could be deadly. Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown is a gorgeous game. The cutscenes have a unique art style that mixes traditional CGI with some visual elements taken from photographs and videos. The in-game art style shoots for a realistic look that serves the game well. The skies look excellent, the weather effects are fantastic. The icing effect that occurs when players spend too much time in the clouds is really well done. The ground looks good though, and the natural elements tend to look a bit better than the human-made ones. Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown's audio is very good. The sound effects are excellent, creating an immersive experience. The music is a wonderfully eclectic mix of rock, jazz, electronic music, and traditional orchestral video game scores. The soundtrack is modern and it hits the right emotional notes at the right time. It's just a shame the soundtrack has yet to be released on its own because it sets a high bar for the rest of 2019. The voice acting is the weakest part of Ace Combat 7's audio experience. The cutscenes offer the best voice acting in the game. The in-game briefing and debriefing voice acting falls flat in comparison. There are a few weak voice actors, but there are also some decent ones who are simply hamstrung by a terrible script. Some of the lines are just so bad, I don't think it's humanly possible to make them sound natural. Overall, Ace Combat 7 Sky is Unknown delivers an excellent arcade fighter experience. The controls are solid and the action is intense. The audiovisual presentation is very good. However, the game has its warts. There are a few missions that are incredibly frustrating. The story is a disjointed mess, and some of the lines are so bad I don't think any actor could make them sound good. Even with its flaws, it's still worth it to experience Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown. So I'm awarding the game 7.5 capsules out of 10. If you want to read this review, be sure to check out the link in the description or in the video's card. I hope to see you soon. This is Jamie from Capsule Computers signing off. Hey YouTube, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and subscribe to Capsule Computers for more awesome videos. If you're looking for more videos to watch, check out our preview of Breach here on the right. If you're looking for another action game to play, check out our review of Battlefield 5 here on the left.